Take a look at this ad that I just saw on Facebook yesterday, and I'll pause and show a picture of it. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. 12 by 16 for 2,000, and it's used. And I'll look into it. I mean, it's worth exploring. It's not as big as I would have wanted, and that's okay because there are options out there. I have been thinking of doing like a shed to house conversion for years. Long before I ever got down here. I've been watching, all the tiny house YouTube channels and other YouTube channels that have been doing shed to house conversions. There's a shed to house group on Facebook. I'll try to leave a link to that below if I think about it. Better Together Life, the YouTube channel Better Together Life, they put that shed to house forum together on Facebook. And there are just people all over the country showing what they're doing with their pre-built sheds and converting them into tiny houses or tiny cabins or whatever they want to do with them. So, and I've lived tiny before. I had a studio apartment in Chicago that was 10 feet wide by about 32 feet long. So yeah, just a studio apartment. And my friends in Chicago had studio apartments also. Some of them were even smaller. You just got to get creative in a tiny space, but you can do whatever, whatever you want to do. And so why would I consider a 12 by 16? Could someone actually live in there? Well, that one has a loft. And which a lot of people, younger people, spry people that don't mind going up and down ladders to go to bed, they could probably make that work, but that would not work for me. What I'm thinking about, and I've thought about this before, was 2 sheds. One to live in and one as the kitchen bathroom with the water. The one I live in would not have plumbing, it'd just have electricity, and so that way you keep it cheaper. Because even most people do not put sinks in their bathroom, as one example. That's a way to cut costs and to save space, because space is at a premium. Why do all that extra work to put a sink in the bathroom when you got one 10 feet away? It's not that big. So what I would do with a 12 by 16 like that is it'd probably need windows, and I don't know how that works with the slanted, I don't know what you call that. But I would just do a bathroom and a kitchen in there and continue sleeping in the mobile home until I could get a second cabin, and then I would put my bed and my desk and living situation in the second cabin. And that way the first one, which is just the kitchen and the bathroom, that could be a community kitchen and bathroom, so that if I've got a yurt or a camping spot or whatever for visitors, they have full access to the full amenities and would share it with me. So that way I'm not putting a little kitchenette in every vacation spot I've got here. I might want to do that. There's all kinds of ideas. But that's what I would do with a 12 by 16, is it would just be a bathroom and a kitchen, and then I would continue sleeping in my bedroom and having my office space, for lack of a better word, my desk in there, and that would improve my situation greatly, having a shower and a real kitchen. And that would be plenty of space. I could do a full-size stove and oven. I could have plenty of counter space for a microwave and my crock pot and my coffee maker and my deep fryer. You can put a dishwasher in there. Plenty of room for all that stuff. And then the bathroom, I could have a shower or a shower tub combo. It should be big enough for that, because the bathroom's only going to be about 5.5 feet wide, and so that'll leave you another 10 feet for the kitchen, 10 foot by 12 foot kitchen. And then a toilet, and I'd continue using my composting system until I could afford a septic. And then I would not put a sink in the bathroom. It's nice, and I realize most people have sinks in their bathroom, but it is not necessary when you have another sink 10 feet away. And then also in the bathroom, instead of a sink, put a washing machine in there. so I can wash my own clothes. You know, that makes more sense. You're tight for space, so instead of taking up space with a second sink that is, you know, kind of duplicative, put something you really use in there, like a washing machine. And a dryer, I can dry my clothes outside on clotheslines, or, you know, maybe get a dryer in the future too, one of those stackable ones. But, you know, I don't have money to spend on any of this stuff yet. So I'm just, you know, making do with the resources I have. And so, yeah, if I were, you know, if that 12 by 16 were a good enough deal, I might just do it, just to have the bathroom with the shower and the washing machine and a regular kitchen. That would improve my life considerably, having the kitchen and a normal kitchen sink. And yeah, other people have suggested living in an RV full time, and that's just people who've done it. Yeah, some people on the road where they're going out to eat and stuff like that, but if you're living and trying to cook your own meals and live frugally and cheaply, RV kitchens are just not up to par. The kitchen sinks are so tiny. You don't have a full-size oven, so you're limited on what you can do. Typically, you've only got 2, maybe 3 burners on top, so that limits you also. And then the refrigerator, they're smaller than your normal refrigerator, usually with a tiny little freezer compartment. I've got a chest freezer, so that would not fit in an RV. So that's why, if I was going to do an RV, it was only going to be short term until I got a cabin built. But I would not want to live in an RV long term, you know, for 10, 20 years, however long I end up being at this property. That would not be a good situation. The roofs always end up leaking. Japanese beetles. The roofs always end up leaking, and the slide outs are notorious for developing leaks. So if you're going to do a long-term living situation, you got to put like a carport or something over it. Like my vacation property over here, the neighbors, they have a camper and they built a carport over it, and that way you don't have to worry about the roof leaks and slide out leaks and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not interested in an RV, but a 12 by 16 cabin, I think it's worth looking into for that price. I don't like, well, it had the barn doors on the front, so I'd have to do either like a sliding glass door or French doors there, or put a normal door in. Probably sliding glass doors would provide light, so, and it probably doesn't have windows, and I don't know. I'll go take a look at it here in the next few days if I get a chance. And I'd have to pay to get it moved, so there are a couple companies around here. It's not that expensive to have those moved, and well, it costs more per mile. So it'll cost me a little bit more out here, but those things are so easy to pick up, and you know, they move them on a flatbed truck with a winch, and then you get it and it lifts up and they slide down, and then they just, you know, put them right into place. And the hydraulic jacks, you can lift them up and put your blocks under there and you're ready to go. So those things are pretty easy to move around, and that's why I like them. Is that maybe that's not the best spot 5 years from now. Maybe I want it further back in the property. Well, it only costs, you know, a few $100, $400 or $500 to have somebody come out and move it for me. Another benefit to that is that maybe, I don't know, I get 1,000 acres somewhere and want to move to it. Well, with one of those, you can pick up and move your home a lot easier than like a mobile home or something like that. So yeah, a lot of benefits, and I'll stop right now. Turns out I'm not doing a lot of work outside today. I'm working inside today, trying to track down stuff. Anyway, I just thought I'd give an update on my, you know, cabin ideas. So what have I done so far? Let's make another 20-minute video, Jeff. There is a lot in Russellville that has like 50 of them sitting there ready to sell. They are a representative for Graceland, which is kind of a big name, and I've stopped by there a few times and gotten prices from them. For the size that I want, a 12 by 24, for a new one, they wanted $7,500. So I've ruled that out completely. And then they did have a couple used ones that they get in once in a while, and they'll take, they said they take about 20% off. So that'd be like 6,000 for a used one, and that's out of my ballpark. So yeah, with those, you're paying because they're built in like Louisiana or Texas, and then they're trucked in, and so they're a little bit more expensive. So I've been trying to find a local place that does them here, and I have found, well, one. There's one place that has a website, and they have prices on their website. 12 by 24 was like $3,600, and I called them a year ago. And they don't service my area, but they said if they were really slow at some point and had didn't have any work going on, that they'd consider it, and that so I left my name and number and told them, well, hey, if you're ever free. So I've contacted them again, and it's well, their prices have gone up since from the ones on their website, and they don't have any slow times because they've got good pricing, so they're always busy. Go figure. But they don't come out this way. They're over closer to Little Rock, and they just don't get this far out. But I found another local place that builds them, not far. It's I don't know, they're probably like 20 miles away, and they'll do either one. They'll build it at their place and deliver it to you, or if it's too remote or whatever and they can't get it in there, they will build it on site, and there are different prices for those. They are more in the ballpark around 5,000 for a 12 by 24. So, and I've got I know people who have bought just storage sheds from them in the past. So, and I guess they're very easy to work with. And I haven't stopped by their place yet. They're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But I will stop by their place this week and talk more about it. They'll be in a local place. They will customize it more, So if you want extra windows, or you want the door on the front instead of the side, and they'll work with you a little bit more on stuff like that. And I do like that. So I am searching out that possibility. I've been looking at kits and metal garage type kits that you can buy online. Those are all overpriced for what I need. And then I'm also looking into how much would it be to buy all the materials, and I couldn't do it myself. And then to hire a crew for a few days to come out and build that for you. I can't do it myself because it would just take me too long. Once you start building those, you really need to get the roof on and get it dried in as fast as possible. Otherwise, you're dealing with water issues right from the get-go. So yeah, typically you want that roof on there before it rains again. But that's still an option, and so the lumber was pretty easy to price, 2x4s, 2x8s for the floor joists. The trusses, there's a truss company that's just on the other side of Havana, and so I'm waiting on a quote for them for the roof trusses, and I'm also waiting on a quote from them and somebody else on the metal roofing. I prefer to have the metal roofing rather than shingles, because someday I'd like to do water catchment, and the metal roofing is better for the water catchment. So yeah, in the future I'd like to put gutters on there and have water catchment. Man, these Japanese beetle things are driving me nuts today. So yeah, that's where I am on my shopping. There's not a lot of choices around here. There's another small lot in Boonville itself, and they also carry the Graceland, and they only had like 4 of the really small sheds sitting there. So they don't, they'd have to order them in and be the same price as the one in Russellville. And let's see. Yep, that's about it on that front. And guess what? My neighbor just started up the bulldozer.